So I created a PowerPoint slide so I can give you an example of how to go from having no direction to direction within your life, right? Because most people they have discipline, they have drive. And there's very few people in my mind, as far as I'm aware, who are kind of directions in life. And this system, this framework that built hopefully will help you achieve that and even a little bit more. All I ask is that you subscribe and like the video so I can let others know about this and others can know about the content that I put out. But I appreciate your support. Let's get into it.
Hey, what's going on? It's me, Derrick. So let's get into it. Like I said, the slide or the whole PowerPoint is going to be about from discipline to direction and the four-phase personal operating system that you can use in order to develop that direction that you need in your life. Let's get into it. Now, that first one is why hard work isn't enough. Think about it like this. You're given, let me move this cursor over here. I guess I can't. But think about like this, right? You're given a task by a friend, coworker, or yourself. And let me reverse back a little bit. So most people, I think this kind of back in the day resonated more with how the old War Two like mindset was about getting hard work to take care of your family because back then there wasn't really any laws and regulations that we have now as far as workers can take no more breaks, workers can get the life satisfaction they need from their job. And that's why things change now, right? And that's why people have gotten smarter. But there are those who still are behind the curve. Now, the first one is why hard work isn't enough. You get in a task by your boss, friend, or self. Maybe you jump straight into figuring out, see how to do it the correct way or the best way that you know about. You start working, you didn't ask any questions or plan of how you going to do it because your first mindset is if your boss asks you to do it, then I'm just going to do it to the best of my ability and he'll like it, right? Which isn't wrong, but I say that for the rest. But as you're working, you know others finish faster while you're still grinding on the same job the whole time. But there you are, pushing through with no input or feedback of how you're doing or what you can do to get better or how you can make it faster to get done because you're just a work a hard worker pretty much. Now, people can also confuse that with being lazy because you don't really ask questions. You just kind of work, but you just do it. You just get the job done, but you don't ask questions. You just kind of hard at it when it comes to that mindset, maybe. So you just simply misalign with what you want to do, right? Maybe this is you as well. You wake up early, you still feel lost regarding like you don't know which direction you want to go in your life. You don't have any goals you written down yet, or you don't know who you are. Maybe you cross the task off at work or your daily grind every single day, and you still feel behind. You still feel like there's more that you can do, but you can't do in a day. Maybe you're disciplined. You have a routine. You wake up, go to work, go to the gym, do your business stuff. But you do that every single day, but you have no set path of where to go to. Your life essentially revolves around the problem, right? You wake up, work, you burn out, and you reset the next day and do it again in that circle. Which leads me into my next point, which is the trap of discipline without direction. Now, when I think of discipline, right, I think people grinding it out, which is good, in the beginning phase, you need to grind it out. Grind it out. You care more about your outputs than you do about your inputs, and you have to kind of willpower yourself to actually do the job, right? You have to kind of get your mind and just fucking force yourself to do it and just kind of numb your mind to the fact that it fucking sucks. Now, with direction, meaning that you ask for help or you just need some type of guidance, you gain a clarity with what the goal is and what you're trying to achieve. the alignment with what that goal is, what you're trying to achieve, and how you can achieve it with who you are, and intention, meaning that you know what you want to do and how to achieve that goal. Now, next up is a four-phase operating system that I believe will help you get direction in your life. The first one is clarity. Know exactly what matters and why you're doing it, which means asking questions, which is something that most people don't do because they fear, well, most leaders don't allow their coworkers or subordinates to do because they fear that it's them undermining them as a leader when it's actually not. They just need clarification of why they're doing the job. And a little leadership tip if you didn't know. If you give workers the why of why they're doing something, then that'll give them a little bit more motivation in order to do it, right? And also, if you let them take action, if you give them a plan and tell them what to do, but don't tell them how to do it, that will give them ownership and allow them to do it even more because they take ownership of that plan and it's theirs now. Just a little cheat code. But clarity, you know exactly what matters and why you're doing it. Structure, you build the environment, tools, and routines that make execution easier. Execution, take focused action daily, even when it's inconvenient or uncomfortable. Feedback, reflect, adjust, and refine your approach so you keep making progress. Now, to kind of break down each one, right? Clarity, know where you're going. These are some things you can use in order to gain clarity in your life. Eliminate the noise, meaning that eliminate anyone else who try to get you away from your goal. If it's coworkers talking to you, say, get away, coworker. If it's people doubting you when you're trying to achieve your goal, say, just delete that memory of them and say, get away. People doubt me from trying to achieve my goal, right? Define success for you internally and externally, meaning that what will make you feel successful on the inside, right? You feel satisfied, because I personally believe happiness is a fleeting thing, but what you can achieve is satisfaction. Now, what does success mean externally for you? Is it for you to become maybe the CEO, the production manager, the supervisor, or even like the lead chef at your job or your role? Next one is use focused inputs, meaning I'm doing blank to become blank. So what that means is, what's the job that you need to be doing? For example, if your job is to flip patties, then that's all you worry about is flipping the patties. You don't worry about the fucking drinks that need to be passed out to the customers. You don't worry about the fries that need to be freaking flipped. You just worry about that one patty that needs to be done. When that patty is done being flipped, you go to the next task and the next task. The more you focus on one thing, the easier it be. Because I believe multitasking is a thing of the past. It's not really a thing anymore. So a story of myself, of me growing up, right? I grew up an introvert, right? Quiet. I was kind of weird when it comes to socializing with others. And I was more of a gamer inside most of the time. The only time I came out mostly was just to kind of get some fresh air maybe and go get food and eat dinner with my family. And that was it. But my goal when I became a sophomore in high school, I had the goal of becoming a United States Marine. And that goal kind of took the majority of my mind and just, it gave me something to look for, right? It gave me that clarity and vision. And I wanted to try every day to earn that goal, to earn the title of Marine, right? And I did it. But what it did, or what it caused me to do, is focus on one clear goal and what can I do in order to achieve that goal. For me, it was going to the gym and running, because those are the main things you need in order to just get in the program. Next one is structure. Build systems that support you, whether that's templates, environments, checklists that you need to do, Notion systems, routines, time blocking. Replace hopes with triggers. Let me explain what hope with triggers. Meaning that, let's say you trying to get a certain task done, and you don't hope you get done. You have things you do or things you perform in order to get that task done. Instead of hoping it's going to be done the correct way, you put things in place for yourself in order for it to get done the correct way, right? Now, you can. This is thing that I use in the military. Well, the military widely uses. It's called a battle rhythm. What is that? Now, a battle rhythm can be split up into a weekly, or a daily, a weekly, and a monthly, and you just be specific as possible as to what task needs to be done. Important tasks that need to be done in a daily, weekly, and monthly battle rhythm. That's something you can give a try if you want to. The next one is execution. Show up when it's hard. It's just gonna be fucking ass sometimes. It's just gonna fucking suck. That's just the nature of the fucking game, whether in business or life. And guess what? Life doesn't care. And if it does, then, or if you think it does, then you're wrong. You're in for a rude awakening. Now, the first one is action is better, greater than motivation. Meaning that screw motivation, right? Because it's not going to be there. It's everyone's happy when they first begin a new job or they start a new sport or whatever. But over time, that happiness, that motivation fades away, and all you do is just perform that action, right? We think LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, and Shaquille O'Neal all wanted to train. Do you think they was motivated the whole time? You think Kobe Bryant was motivated the whole time when he was out there fucking training the early years growing up? No, he wasn't, right? He had to discipline himself in order to get to where he wanted to get to in his life. And look at him now, all star. Now, use constraints. What the two I have up here are the Pomodoro and the 10-minute rule. For Pomodoro, it's a frame where you work for 25 minutes, take a 5-minute break, and just repeat the cycle like 4 times. And after you finish that, you can go a little bit longer and a little bit longer and a little bit longer and a little bit longer. You just add on times to the amount of time you work, and you just take the 5-minute break like at regular intervals. This is mostly used for those structure, those deep work moments where you're trying to focus on a project or a task, or when you're at work trying to overcome those distractions and avoid burnout. That second one is a 10-minute rule, meaning that you just simply tell yourself that I'm going to do this for 10 minutes and I'm going to take a break. This kind of lowers the resistance you have towards doing the task because once you start on something, you'll keep going. For example, it's like you when you wake up in the morning. You don't want to get up. You're tired. The bed feels nice. The pillow is nice against your head. But as soon as you're up, you're up. You can't change that unless you want to go back to sleep. Most of the time, if you're an adult, you have a job or you have a business or you have some type of thing going for yourself, you just get up and then you just get to work. Right? That's used for beating procrastinations. Those days when you have low energy or just the kind of begin a task when you know that it might take a while. And next one is to seek feedback, right? Meaning that, for example, you can do weekly reviews, daily logs to see how your patterns are over time. You can do the reiterate instead of restarting, meaning that you see what needs to be done, you did it, but then you just change it into something else instead of doing something other than what you need to be doing. Just make a slight change. That's what it means by iterate. Now, I put a quote here. You don't need to try harder. Just try smarter and be smart with what you do. Now, I comment below, show it. You have an action that you committed to. The result of that action, you be introspective and think about how that action led to a result. And you have an idea of how you can think of a new action. And then the whole thing just continues. The whole flow just continues. Also, I have a execution system, the link in the bio if you need some direction and clarity in your life, which these tools can't really cover per se, and I dive a little more deeper into who you are, then just click the link in the description. It's only about $47, so I think it's a pretty good deal. And now the last one is how this mindset shift changed my life. Right? Like I said before, I personally grew up kind of introverted, right? And I was more of an awkward kid. I didn't really want to go out much. My family loved me, but I was a big Call of Duty, a battlefield player. But I was also pretty athletic because I was in JRTC in high school, right? So the thing that made me better, the thing that changed me the most, is that I simply got clarity on my goal of where I want to be at. Right? Let's go through it. Let's go through it. So I built a structure around who I want to be. I built the structure into who I am as an individual and a person. So by that, meaning that I went to the gym. I kind of suck to say, but I didn't really talk to my family much. I did, but I did at the same time. Because that's my set goal. That's all I really cared about, was that goal only. And I developed a routine of how to achieve that goal. I took action every single day. I focused on the inputs of what I can do in order to achieve that goal, which was for me at the time, which is running and exercising. And I had feedback from the freaking recruiters who recruited me, as well as my parents and my family, who told me what I'm doing wrong or weird, what I can improve on overall that I need to. As well as just simply using like apps to help you out. But that's all I got. I just want to thank you for listening and paying attention to this, and hopefully you get something from it.